It's great to see you guys. I wanted to give an update video. So I had plans to make a media company in this town, and honestly, it's way more difficult than I thought. It's easy to get a few jobs here and there, but to get the consistency and the amount of income that I was looking for, it was way too challenging. Now, I have since left the reselling massive amounts of clothes, and I kind of like dip my toes back into the YouTube world just to see what everybody else is doing in that scene. And honestly, it doesn't look too great. It seems like people are just kind of running into the same problems. So I'm kind of focused on one of my main businesses, making content for brands. So I do product review videos, I do like commercial style videos, and most of these are Chinese sellers. People ask, well, what happens if the product's no good? Well, you can't say the product is terrible. You can just kind of explain that, maybe it does this whenever you do this, or, it's like this doesn't hold its charge that long. You can't say it's the worst or whatever because they are, paying you to do it. So it's an honest review, but it's also like you're not upselling it in a crazy way, but you're not trashing it. So basically, a product similar to this. So this is going to be your tri-ball hitch. It's going to have the 6-inch rise or drop. Now this is perfect because in Texas, everybody wants to have one of these. We have tons of trucks. I myself have a nice truck. I could use that hitch, but I honestly don't pull a lot of things. So basically the company will send me that hitch. They will pay me to make the review, and then anytime it sells, I get commissions. It's basically affiliate marketing through videos. People did this in the past through the form of blogs. Whenever you would type in like 10 best Halloween costumes on Google, and you would see a person who wrote an article about it, and then they'd have all the links. That's basically what the job is. So that is what's supporting, like, let's call it the bread and butter of my business, right? The product reviews. Now, the gravy to the business, or like the cream on top, it came in a few different ways. So one of which would be like selling that product. So when I sell that product, I just get cash from Facebook Marketplace, and then I can use that cash to buy other things. But what I really want to talk about is the live stream money that I was making. That was the best money I was making. It was 16 hours a month, and it was making a healthy full-time income. Now, it was incredible. It was a very large clothing brand I was working with. Whenever the tariffs happened, I feel like the clothing brands and the Chinese sellers on across the world pretty much were taking closer looks at their profit margins, and what they found was a lot of money was going to different programs that they may not necessarily like hold too much value to. So that money was lessened, and then most recently it's kind of gone. The time that I quit selling on eBay and stopped like the YouTube like consistent uploads was the time that I had gotten that opportunity, and it was so good that I was just riding high. And now it's like luckily I've built up my other bread and butter income to kind of help. However, I'm in a place where I need to figure out how to get back that high level income. And the thing about incomes like that is once you reach that level, you almost feel like that's what you're worth. And I mean, there is some sense to that. I mean, the skills were developed over time. However, it's hard to kind of go back to the grind or like lower end money because you have a different mindset of money in general, if that even makes sense. I mean, for so long, I was constantly, not even having enough money to like, I mean, I had enough money for bills. And I'm talking about like before eBay. I'm talking about just, I would mow a lawn on the weekend and make like $30 or $40. Or I'd mow a couple lawns and do a tree job and I'd make a couple extra $100. And then that was like my fun money or whatever. Well, fast forward to, eBay, I was making like some more money, but I was also investing a lot into the business, and then it was okay. And then now to the point where like I was sitting really high and enjoying life to the point where like I didn't stress about money. Now, I'm not stressing about money right now. I feel like I've kind of not hacked, but like I figured out how money works in a sense based on the skills that I have. Now, it takes a while to develop it. You can see based on the last video that I did over there, I didn't even know how to use the camera that I had just bought, which makes sense because these cameras are complicated and it does take a little bit of time to set things up. Now, I've like fast forward and advanced to a new area of life. And what that is the house that my wife and I bought when we first got together. This house is now dedicated to my business. That's perfect. If I was still reselling, it'd be a dream come true. Now that I'm not reselling, but doing this new type of review business and a commercial type business, it's excellent. Now, I have tons of space. I have tons of products. I need to kind of like collaborate with somebody. So like these types of hitches, the tri-ball hitch, which I'll go ahead and link, and I'm going to link my equipment that I've been using. You can see like the light setup that I have. I'm going to link those things just because I'm kind of shifting into a different realm and I need to set the YouTube channel up to kind of express that. Now I know a lot of you guys may not care at all. You may dislike the video, you may leave, you may unsubscribe. I get it. I mean, if I was still in full on eBay mode and one of my favorite creators or just somebody who I kind of like enjoyed his content switched completely, I would be gone. I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm out of there. I have so much to do now. I have so many little tasks that I have to accomplish and make systems for. I have a person that models for me. She does great. She's really sharp now, and we've been working together for over a year. She's my second model I've had. I think I've gotten to the point where I've just missed like the interaction through social media. And I mean like, you know, just even seeing friendly messages or critical messages, you know, that type of dialogue is something that I took for granted whenever I had so much of it. Because when you're doing the same thing and then you're seeing the same type of like questions, what size are those boxes for the inventory? Like I've had a couple viral videos on that inventory system and I still to this day get asked what size those boxes are. They are 8x8x30. So they're from Uline. A little update, my wife is 8 months pregnant. So, I mean, we're about to have our second child, which will be our second son named Silas. I can't wait to see you, Silas. I felt you kicking last night, but I'm ready to see you again, bud, out in the real world. And then we have Seth. Seth is going to be 3 years old in November. So whenever you're balancing your own business, figuring out how to make it work, and then children, YouTube kind of falls off, right? Like YouTube, as much as I like you guys out there and enjoy your conversation, my children came first, and I had to learn how to be a dad before I could separate more of my workday to YouTube because, you know, I needed to focus on that. I had to like take off a lot whenever he would get sick. You know, my wife, she has a, 40-hour work week job and she can take off some, but we were trying to build up her days for the pregnancy when she has to go into labor and all that stuff. So I would have to take off throughout the year. Now we're at the point where we're still cranking monsters. You know, we got the white monsters here and things are looking good. I got my my boat over here. This is actually kind of like a family heirloom that my dad started. He bought it in 1986. This is a boat from Panama. That's where he met my wonderful mom. I'm half Panamanian, if you didn't know. So that is the story of the boat. But, you know, we have this house set up. I have this nice large desk. I'm in the living room here. In front of me, I have racks of clothes. I have tons of products. I have a treadmill that's just sitting here in a box that I have to do a video on today. I've got some nice weight equipment in the gym. I'm still trying to be fit. It's been hard to stay consistent with the fitness whenever you're like money hungry and focused on, you know, seeing things work. Because I mean, I'm telling you, I was sitting pretty with the money where I was just addicted to getting more and more. Now it's at the point where I know what that feels like and it is comforting, but there is a point where you have enough money and if no disasters happen and it keeps stacking up, I mean, what then? You know, like, do you upgrade your home? Do you buy a vehicle? Do you invest the money? Do you try to create another business? Or do you just keep stacking money in the bank? It's actually kind of crazy when you get to a certain amount of money where all bills are paid. If the water heater goes out, you could just write a check. The AC goes out, you just write a check. But then after those things are like taken care of, what do you do with the money? And one of the things I was kind of thinking about was maybe I purchase a third house. So what some businesses do is, you know, currently it's an LLC that files as an S corporation. What some people do, and I actually rent this house to the business. So that is something that is super beneficial and a lot of people do it. You have to actually work out of the house. Well, if you have another property for the business, you can call it like an overflow. Basically, you can use it for storage, but you would deduct a portion of the rent. It wouldn't be 100% because you're not using 100% of the house. But then I was thinking, well, what if I had a business where I ran like a photography studio, like space for rent? So it wouldn't be like an Airbnb or anything like that. It would basically be like overflow for storage, but then I would set up one really nice room or two really nice rooms, set up some furniture, and then, or maybe like the backdrop stuff. I have some lights here that I could probably send over to that other place. And then that's where I would spend like the big chunk of money that I eventually will have. to invest in like a house whenever I feel like things are good. Which honestly, if you're having a second child, you never know what can happen. So you don't want to just shell all your money out. You want to make sure that the child is healthy and can make it through that first year, especially before making any like big plays. That's just kind of my opinion on the kids, because when they're so young, they don't seem like they're like whole. You're afraid to break them sometimes because they're so small. And I lifted up my niece, who is just like a couple months, and she was so light and tiny. And then I have this big lug of a 3-year-old, and I'm just like, get out of my way, Seth. Like, give me the children, like the small ones. Those are the best. But it's also like the most delicate stage, right? Because they're just coming into the world, like they're brand new, fresh babies. So that's happening in probably the next month. So I'm gonna put a video out now. I want to just kind of, well, first off, show that I know how to set up the camera to look a little bit better. I mean, I know it's a little darker, but it's a little bit moody, kind of dramatic. A lot of my product reviews, like with things like the tri-ball hitch, that's going to be like outdoors with a trailer, and it's going to be like a little kind of like a scene of moving stuff. So that's kind of a little different thing. But setting the light up to control everything yourself, you can kind of play around with it. The light that I bought over here, this is actually I think it's called a tube light or a wand light. And what's great about it is, well, first off, if you can get it, it's pretty expensive. I think it was like $250, but you can actually just change it to whatever color you want. So you can change it to red, so we can have double red. You can go green, so we have more of like the Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader look. I like this blue a lot. Sometimes I have this blue just in the back. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. You just connect your app to it, and yeah, basically, I mean, that company didn't send me that. That's something that I bought myself. But that's essentially it. You get things from people, you negotiate deals, and then you explain the pros and cons of the item, and then hopefully people watch and like to buy it. The clothing company that I was working with, they stopped the live streaming for their brand on Amazon, and now they're actually going to live stream on their website. So they reached out to me directly and said, hey, we'd like you to stream on the website. But it's more so like, I think they want me to stream, on YouTube and TikTok, and then like it'll open up more opportunities. So a lot of these brands like to see how you're going to be before they just give you everything. So we'll see. I mean, I may run some of my own streams. It just kind of depends, but it's all like, if people click the links and then they buy it, then, obviously I make money and then they make money. So it's one of those types of things. And it's cool. It's nice to have nice clothes. I mean, this is a quarter zip I got. It's a nice quarter zip. I could wear this for pictures or holidays or whatever. And I have hundreds of pieces. And I like to focus in on my favorite pieces. Like I got a nice leg machine in recently, so I can do my leg extensions, leg curls. You can do sit-ups with it. There's like different things you can do. So it's really cool to have that. Was the green better? I'm gonna go back to the green. Was the green cool? I can't tell because I don't have the viewfinder out. Because if I have the viewfinder out, I start looking off to the side instead of like right into the lens. But essentially, I'm trying to like accumulate things that I like. And there's ways you can reach out to brands to try to do this. It's a little bit difficult if you don't have any like traction or any type of like proof of concept to show them, because then they'll just be like, well, who are you? But I got that thing, and it came with the bumper plates, and they actually are going to give me the straight bar with 260 pounds worth of bumper plates. So super stoked to get the fitness going, upgrade the gear a little bit. But as far as YouTube goes, I think I'm just going to give some like general updates. I may do some clips of like what I'm doing, and I don't know. I went to a thrift store yesterday. I actually did. I had to buy like a computer printer cable, to like power a printer. It was for a generator that actually, I think that cable I bought like blew the generator a little bit. So it's a diesel heat. No, I'm sorry, not a generator. It's a diesel heater. It's reminded me of generator. And I just told the company, I said, hey, I think I like blew this, because their power cord wasn't providing enough juice. It was like a 110 volt. And I think I put a 125 or 120 on it, and I think it popped it. So I don't know. So there's problems, because I mean, they send you that hoping that you can do it, and they take a hit if you can't do it. But this is a kind of a rare situation. Anyway, I went to the thrift store and I saw a couple familiar faces. It felt kind of stale. It felt like they were kind of disgruntled, not happy. I don't know if thrifting just got so saturated. I don't know if it was thrift stores just figured it out, started holding the best stuff for them. I mean, that's what I would do if I had a thrift store. I wouldn't put any of the good stuff out because I would want to sell it. Like, thrift stores are sellers. nowadays. They used to be, I think, honestly, for the good. They used to just want to help people, and I think it completely changed at some point in time. But past is the past. The future is now. Hope you guys like the little update. I hope you like the little scenery here. Hopefully you guys like the little clips I threw in, because I do want to do that. I don't have Epidemic Sound anymore, so like I don't have the sound effects, so I probably am going to pay for that again. I was watching a Taylor Bell video, and she mentioned how good Epidemic Sound is, which they are a really good company. It's just there's things that, you know, the subscriptions you pay for certain things, or you get it for a year and you never use it, kind of like CapCut I've been paying for and I don't use it. It's one of those types of things where I don't want too many of those going out without really, you know, enjoying the fruits of what you're paying for, because you never want to just spend money on stuff to spend money. You want to make sure you get the most out of it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I will be posting a little bit more here. Maybe we'll throw in a picture or two of the new baby, Silas, coming in maybe late October, early November. I think the due date's November 8th, but it could be sooner. I mean, Seth was a month early, so we never really know. As far as the media agency goes, like that, it's not something I'm going to put a lot of effort into, because I feel like it's the difficulty versus like the money to be made, and like it's not much. Like right now I have zero stress with this business other than getting the diesel heater to work, but other than that, like things are pretty chill, and I don't really want to take on more stress, especially with a new baby coming. So I'm going to kind of disband that. I'm still going to keep the name Taylor Exchange Media on this, because I want to kind of tell brands and stuff that I make content more directly media, you know. So we're going to kind of keep that. Taylor Exchange was always okay. It doesn't really matter the name. It matters like what you bring to it, and what I want to bring to it is like authenticity of a guy who has been just trying to find his way through this world, provide for my family, and have a decent time doing it. So that's what we're going to do. And you guys let me know what you think, you know, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. Let me know. Go Bears. We have our Chicago Bears computer mat right here. We took on the Raiders. We beat them barely, but a win's a win. We got the bye week, and then we're going to take on, I think it's the Washington Commanders next time we play. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.